Greetings, St. Stephen family and guests. Welcome to another edition of Living Water with First and Thursday. Has someone ever said to you, I got a lot on my mind? I'd venture to say we do have a lot on our mind these days. But prayerfully, something to help lighten that load as a takeaway will be some assistance with our attitude, some assistance with our aptitude, as well as some assistance with spiritual fortitude. If you tuned in last week, you know we spoke from 2 Corinthians, the 10th chapter, the 4th and the 5th verse. And that 5th verse actually spoke about bringing every one of our thoughts into captivity to the obedience of Jesus Christ. And that's what we have to do to move forward in unloading whatever these weights and sins that so easily beset us, as God's word says. Today, though, we want to explore this a little bit further from the book of Proverbs, the 23rd chapter and the 7th verse. It says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." And you may have heard before the term that your attitude controls your altitude. And definitely believe that's true. Having the right attitude is important. And that's exactly what this text is speaking about. It's about having the right perspective on things. What you have here is a rich man talking to a person that isn't rich, but the person that isn't rich is really desiring to be rich. And so it's kind of hanging out with this rich person, but the rich person has a bad heart. And so he's really trying to be encouraged not to model that rich man's heart, because that's really where the problem comes. And so when we think about what we're thinking, it's not just going on between the head, it's coming from our heart. And heart in the Bible speaks to our will, it speaks to our volition, it speaks to our choice. And so when we think about having the right attitude, there's something that helps us to get there, which is having the right aptitude as well. And so if attitude speaks of perspective, then aptitude speaks of potential. It speaks of capability or the ability to do right things. And so with that being said, something simple for us to remember is negative or positive thoughts are all controlled by us. We do have a choice as to what we think about. And so in this text, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. What's in our heart and how we act, that is what we will actually do. It speaks to the relationship, if you would, between the head, the heart, and the hands. And they are interconnected, if you would. And so it's important for us to have a right attitude. But to get there, we have to have that right aptitude. We have to put in the effort and the energy to make that happen. We have to change the channel and not think negatively, but think positively. We have to think about building up rather than tearing down. And the thing that helps us to do that actually is then having spiritual fortitude. And fortitude speaks to having courage, and courage really when you're already in pain or already in adversity. And so we know courage is not the absence of fear, but it's actually action in the very midst of the fears. And so it's really taking it to that next level when you're going through what you're going through in your life and still being very courageous inside of that, but allowing the Spirit of God to help us to be overcomers in whatever we're dealing with. And right now it's COVID-19. Right now it may be health issues. Right now it may be financial issues, maybe parental issues, whatever it may be. But spiritual fortitude is something that allows me to stand and be confident knowing God is in control. And when I know that, it changes then my attitude and my perspective on things. So regardless of what's going on, I stay encouraged, I stay positive. And then when the negativity does come in, the aptitude that I have in me changes the channel, and I don't stay on it. I have a choice to think this way. I have a choice to listen to people that are negative and tear things down. I don't have to do that. And so the last verse that I wanted to read today that kind of brings all of this together is a verse you've probably read before, and it comes from Romans, the 12th chapter and the 2nd verse. And it simply says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Prayerfully, you don't have as much on your mind anymore, knowing that that mind has been transformed and you are in perfect alignment with God's will and God's way for your journey. May God bless and keep you as you move forward. Unleash the load.